Hello everybody, my name is X Factor Electronic Arts, and Respawn sponsored a trip for me to fly out and go hands-on with Titanfall 2, the multiplayer. And if you're a lot like me, more than likely you picked up Titanfall 1, you played quite a bit of it, and then you discovered there's a lack of campaign, depth, and customization. Well, welcome to Titanfall 2 multiplayer on the PS4 pre-alpha. And the developers have most certainly been listening. We're going to go over a lot of the new things available in Titanfall 2, feature various gameplay from some of the new game modes, a few of the new weapons and tactical abilities, kits, and everything else in between. For the most part, I was actually pleasantly surprised with the vast majority of the changes. Although I'm not a massive fan of the TDK, the time to kill, still, it's pretty snappy and quick. But there are multiple classes of weapons in Titanfall 2, 6 of them to be exact. There are assault rifles, SMGs, LMGs, sniper rifles, shotguns, and grenadiers. And of course, there's 5 tactical abilities, including the grappling hook, which I quickly became obsessed with. Because once you get used to the movement system in Titanfall 2, yes, you can still amp up your speed by wall running. Grappling hook adds to that. You could do disgusting things to other pilots and Titans, because there is a new aspect to the Titan vs. Titan and Titan vs. Pilot gameplay that has to do with batteries. You saw it in the single-player campaign teaser, but it is massive in the multiplayer. You can actually steal enemy players' Titan batteries, which takes off a big chunk of their shield and or health. You can then put it in a friendly Titan, or if you've got it, you call in your Titan or get out to pick it up. You can put it in your Titan. It gives you a full shield, which is a massive boost. And you can see them laying around on the map. So always pick one up, or if you kill an enemy pilot, you can pick up theirs. It's a big-time boost. And this is level cap getting knocked out, which happens to be my favorite thing to do in the Titanfall series now, which is grapple onto players and or Titans. It's hilarious, and when it happens to you, you're absolutely helpless. And this first set of clips is from Pilots vs. Pilots, a new game mode. No Titans, no AI, just player versus player. And here's an example of being helpless. Not only can you grapple a player directly, but if you put it in front of their path of motion, they hit it like that, you're gonna catch a nasty Chuck Norris-style front kick to the back of the head, straight into a dirt nap. And why not one more for good measure? Honestly, this doesn't get old. Not ever. So let's talk about one of the areas where Titanfall 1 fell short, and that has to do with choices and customization. And the devs, again, have been listening. They've already studied. There's a ton of stuff coming down the pipeline in the future where it comes to aesthetics, not just for your weapons, but your pilot and your Titan. There's 11 total slots of customization, including nade slot, tactical ability, primary weapon, secondary weapon, kit slot, and ability slot, not mentioning the weapon attachments. 3 different kits to choose from, 6 classes of infantry-based weapons, not talking about anti-Titan weapons, and of course the 5 tactical abilities, which include Pulse Blade, Grapple Hook, Hollow Pilot, which is a holograph of yourself, Stim, and Cloak. So how about some of the other weapons and abilities and kits available in Titanfall 2? Welcome to the Assault Rifle, the R201. Very good at medium and longish range. Hipfire is still decent. It's a Titanfall trait. And this is one of the new kits called Hover. Anytime you ADS, whether it's a single jump, double jump, jumping off of something, you hover there while you're ADS perfectly stationary. And welcome to Stim with the Alternator, one of the SMGs. Not only do you run fast for a set period of time, but it also heals you, and it's disgusting when jumping or double jumping. But remember, you have to give something up, like the grapple. So your mobility is limited while using this, but very helpful when you're targeting multiple bad guys and in close quarters or playing the objectives such as Amped Hardpoint. And I just got duped by one of the new tactical abilities called Hollow Pilot, which creates a holograph version of an enemy player. So be careful who you're shooting at, because more than likely you're going to give away your position and just get shot in the back of the head. And here's another SMG called the Car. Very, very good with hipfire. Very, very good in close quarters, no matter what tactical ability you're running with. No need to really ADS, because you can take out multiple bad guys in close proximity with one mag. And of course, depending on how you equip your weapon, you can get more ammo and quicker reloads. And this is the Mastiff, as this guy is snapping necks and cashing checks while I'm cloaked. Now, this shotgun has a special ability. It has two different ways of firing. Yes, ADS or aiming down sight makes it more accurate and lethal at longer ranges, but the hip fire has quite the nasty spread. So you can actually kill multiple people if they're clumped up and hurt. The closer you are, the more damage you do, but again, you can easily extend that out as you aim down sight. And it's surprising how far you can actually kill people with. This thing is actually a destructive force in close quarters and even some of the medium range encounters, especially when you're going from capture point to capture point or playing something like pilots versus pilots. It seemed like this was never a bad pick if you're playing with and behind cover, or you just had pretty good movement or dance moves for days, as this guy's about to get dropped with a double up on the hip fire. The Mastiff was a lot of fun to use, and as you can see, you can also pick up other weapons from down players. And this is an energy-based LMG called the L-Star, completely destructive at multiple ranges, but it does have a lot of lead at medium and long range, and there's a unique cooling mechanism. Every time you shoot the gun, every time you lay off the trigger, there's a split-second cooling. You have to wait till you pull the trigger again. If you pull the trigger too long, it forces it into a long cooldown, multiple seconds, but it sure can hose down multiple bad guys at close and medium range, and you really don't have to ADS with it too much. It's that effective. How about a sniper rifle called the Double Take? Because it shoots 2 rounds at once, you still have to figure for lead, and it has a customizable called Ricochet, special ammo. So if somebody's playing behind cover or in a window, if you play your angle correctly, you can still kill them. Another game mode available is called Bounty Hunt. We're going to explain that as we go, and here's another reason why I love the grappling hook so much. The new battery mechanic. Steal the battery, take a shield, a chunk of health, and the second time you rodeo them, and all consecutive times, you're now going to drop nades. And if you pay attention to my Titan timer, we went from 2% and we're about to go to 100%, so it's a great way to get your Titan quickly. So don't ignore the Titans, go after them. There's going to be 2 Titans available for the Titanfall 2 technical test. This is the Ion, and there are customization choices available now, including a secondary, which is a sniper laser shot that hurts Titans, and of course, as you can see, one bags pilots. So there are choices you can make. I do have electric smoke that can damage somebody that rodeos me. I do have my energy shield. I do have trip mines that I can set out, and of course the laser shot, and 2 different types of primary. That is the second one. It's energy based, second cooldown compared to the mag reload, as I drop my tripwire mines when they go off by a Titan. It is just fire and destruction everywhere. Charging up the core, and this is something that has changed a little bit. There's different core abilities based on the Titan that you choose, but when your Titan is in a core state, when all of its shield and health is gone, no longer does it tick down, it's not doomed. And somebody can sneak you a battery. So this is the Thunderbolt, one of the anti-Titan weapons available. Very slow, very steady, does not lock on, but does a ton of damage. And if you catch some infantry or pilots sleeping, you can give them the old heave-ho on that. So here you can see we call it another Ion, and use your grappling hook to throw yourself in. This thing has limitless capabilities. Yes, you can still Titanfall another pilot that's running, or you can Titanfall another pilot. And let's explain this game mode called Bounty Hunt. It's all about killing AI, enemy pilots, and Titans, and AI Titans, these bounties that you get. You can see I have money that's increasing in the bottom left of my screen. Really important, because you need to get that to a bank. Now, there's going to be waves of AI that you can cash in on. Very important. There's only 2 spots that they drop. More than likely, there's going to be enemy pilots and enemy Titans, so you need to get to them. But as you kill enemy pilots or their Titans, you get half of what they have. Now, after those waves are done, the banks open. And again, those are limited. There are only 2 available. That means more than likely, you're fighting for the same territory as the enemy pilots and Titans. So there is a massive game of cat and mouse. And because those are available for a limited time, it is a great way to catch up or get behind extremely quickly. So you can max out around 1,000 as I miss. And eventually I'm going to get this guy. So you have to be careful with how much you're carrying around. If you jump out of your Titan, he can go in a defensive stance again to help you. which is not a bad idea. But if you die with $1,000, and it happened to me several different times, that is a ton of money to lose. That's 500. Every death halves what you have, and it goes directly to the pilot that kills you, and more than likely to the bank. Bounty Hunt was an intense game mode. There were a lot of close games, insane comebacks with massive swings. Just as you think you've got the game mode under control, they have a big lead, you have a big lead, a couple of the wrong people die, money exchanges hands, they get to the bank, and that's it. And this is the other Titan available called the Scorch. And this is something you don't want to get in close proximity with. He could throw these canisters down, shoot them, and just blow up all the ground in the radius. It could destroy your Titan extremely quick, or if you're a pilot that comes across it. Not to mention, he's got other abilities which could do a ton of damage. But true to TitanFall 1, you can gang up on Titans pretty easily. Probably should have saved my core ability there, but he did some last-minute damage with one of his primaries available. And here you see I actually get the ejection off, trying to save all $717 I have. But again, the team that has the most money in the bank at the end of the round is who wins. So it's not just about who you kill, but how much money they have, and if you can time it properly when the banks are up. Now let's talk about one of the things I really don't like about the Titanfall franchise, specifically Titanfall 2. This was on PS4. I'm a PC player, so on the PC side, there are much more accurate and precise players, and that's going to compound this issue, and that's the TDK, the time to kill, and the gunplay. I think it's simply too fast. And the problem with the gunplay is this: there's absolutely zero to no recoil in the vast majority of the full auto weapons. There is no reason to lay off the trigger. There is no penalty, nor more than likely should there be for moving and shooting. You just simply hold down the trigger no matter at what range they are, with the assault rifles, LMGs, and even SMGs. Yes, there's damage drop-offs for several different weapons, but that isn't enough in most situations. If you hold down the trigger, more than likely, and you can stay on target, you're going to get the kill no matter what weapon you have or what situation. So that's a skill gap I really enjoy in my shooters. A reason to tap fire and burst fire, and also control recoil. Maybe not all the weapons, but most of the weapons. That's something I'd actually like to see changed in Titanfall 2, but more than likely, this is here to stay. And talking about the PC, it was kind of bugged at launch for Titanfall 1. We were limited to 60 FPS. The mouse play was pretty sloppy. It didn't feel right, but they slowly started to make adjustments. They doubled the FPS to 120 and made some more improvements. The good news is this: after talking to several of the developers at EA Play and at the Titanfall 2 capture event that I just went to, where this footage is from, they've continued to make changes to the player frequency update rates. You can't really call it tick rate because this is the source engine. It's a little bit different, but it should feel much more precise and reactive according to the developers. So that's something I look forward to seeing when this is available, to either go open beta on PC if they've chosen that as a platform, or maybe one of the technical tests, because more than likely there is going to be multiple. So overall, Titanfall 2 was actually a lot of fun to play. Again, there is more customization coming down the line, more Titans, more options, and of course, all the aesthetical stuff that completely lacked from the first one. So it'll be interesting to see what the developers showcase over the next set of technical tests, or whenever they have another event to showcase new game modes or maps or new Titans, because we all know, based on what we've been told and what we've seen, more Titans are coming. I was really reluctant to get into Titanfall 2, but I'm glad I did, because it seems like the developers have been listening, not just with creating an in-depth and lengthy campaign, but with what I've seen in multiplayer so far. It was a lot of fun, it was pretty addicting, and the grappling hook, I simply cannot get enough of it, because you can absolutely mess people up and destroy them. And one last thing I particularly did not like in the gunplay category is aim punch. When you get shot, your character flinches and it throws your crosshair off a ton. I simply think it's too brutal, and that sort of aim punch has not worked out for multiple titles. Usually the developers do something else with another mechanism, or simply calm it down greatly. But it could throw your crosshair off several centimeters depending on what type of gunfight is going on. So with all that you've seen today, with all the different videos you've watched from other influencers and content providers, what do you guys think? Do you think the developers are on the right trail? Do you think they've done a good job of listening to the community concerns? Because for all intents and purposes, it seems like they've tried to address every major shortcoming from Titanfall 1. Of course, it's important to form your own opinion and get your hands on the technical test if it's available for your platform. It should be PS4 and hopefully in the future Xbox One and PC, because I'm curious to see how well the game is going to play on a performance, and of course if the mouse play has been fixed and how the gunplay works out over there. What do you guys think? I want to know all your thoughts, because I'm really curious after watching Titanfall 1 launch, kind of getting into it and then really being disappointed with no longevity or replayability. As always, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, and we will see you guys soon. Ugh.